talk about Jesus never knew for us, and it's a historical proof. It's written, documented, and when you go to Israel, you'll get a substantial evidence, especially where Jesus was born.
I think we've got a different understanding of what evidence is.
I do understand what evidence is. I think you don't.
Okay, that's fine.
When it comes to spiritual things, it is not the evidence that you can get it logically.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Right. We make rational decisions and then give us an irrational reason to believe.
You see, God being a supernatural God, He doesn't make mistakes. He's beyond time, beyond gravity, beyond nature.
Who are you to tell me about God?
Because I had experience with God. That's what I'm going to tell you.
You had an experience with God?
Absolutely.
What was your experience?
My experience.
Do I need to believe it?
My experience. If I tell you that I've ever prayed and fasted for 40 days on a drinking water, would you believe that?
Maybe. You fasted for 40 days?
If I tell you that, would you believe that?
Maybe. Apparently you can last a month without food.
Science can claim that these things are not possible.
No, they're possible. Someone can last for 40 days.
Scientists, they say it's not possible.
There's people
But
that have not eaten for a month.
Yeah, you see, when it talks to God, for you to experience God, why don't you take those days without food but water? Then you know who God is. And when you come out, you will demonstrate the power of God. You've seen the sick people getting healed.
You're not giving me evidence. You're
This
making
is
claims.
evidence to prove that there is God.
You say we see sick people getting healed. When
God is a God of a miracle. He's a supernatural being. And if you read the Bible, you read the prophet like Elijah, what did they do? They produced evidence that there is God by doing infallible miracles.
Let's stop there. They produced evidence that there is God.
Absolutely, yes.
With what miracles? Yes.
Absolutely.
Jonah went in the whale's stomach. Jonah went in the stomach of a whale. Yes.
Yes.
Jesus walked on water, healed the leper, made 3 fish, 100 fish. Right. The Muslims say he spoke in the cradle as a baby. It's said that he was born of a virgin. Right. All these amazing miracles. Right. When he carried out these miracles, he done it to prove to the people at the time that he's a prophet. Yes, the miracle was the evidence, right? So what the Bible and the Quran are telling us is that the way these people think at the time is that when they see the miracle, that's proof. Yes.
You see miracle.
Just a second. Let me finish my point. So even at the time. At their time, in their rationale, in the Christian rationale, and the Muslim rationale, and the Jewish rationale, people didn't believe. When they saw the miracle, then they believed, right? So if I see Moses opening the sea, I will believe, right? If I see the angel coming down to Muhammad, I will believe, like the people believed around him, right? But I didn't see it. Right?
Okay.
I
understand, but you see,
why am I a bad guy?
You see, God of the Bible, the creator of the heavens and the earth, never changes. He did miracle many years ago, and miracle is still happening.
It's funny the miracle stopped all of a sudden, isn't it?
It's not stopped. Who told you?
Give me
it is happening.
So you believe there's miracles happening now? Yeah?
I've seen miracle happen.
Yeah, and not one of them on YouTube or
I
Facebook.
tell you, my friend, I don't have to demonstrate
I've never seen one.
I don't have to demonstrate it on YouTube.
So why claim it?
We have seen people who have got possessed by evil spirit, and the spirit is cast out. I have seen it with my eyes, and I'm also involved in those activities.
You've seen people with mental health. You haven't seen people possessed by a ghost, right?
I've seen people possessed by demon spirit. The only problem is you don't know what spirit is in humanity. You see, some people get so insane. That doesn't mean it's only mental
like I said to you,
instability.
God came to me yesterday, right? He told me I'm a prophet, right? and he told me that you're not going to believe me, and he told me that you're a bad person.
You
right?
know what? Because
That's
that is a claim. You first of all don't believe in God, so you can't make that claim.
No, I
Only
can make that claim.
you can make it, but it's not going to be the claim that anyone can believe,
Yeah.
because you are opposing the non-existence of
So if
God.
I walk up
you
to a
say
stranger,
God doesn't exist. So if God doesn't exist,
I never said God doesn't exist. I never said God doesn't exist.
So what is the argument about? You have got no substantial
No,
evidence.
I'll tell you.
You talk, give me time to speak. You got no substantial evidence of the non-existence of things that is claimed.
I'm not saying
might
God
be
doesn't exist.
in the life of those that believe
I'm
in
not
God.
saying God doesn't exist.
So now, if he doesn't exist,
I'm not saying he doesn't.
I'm not sure.
I never said that. Go over all the footage and see any point where I said God doesn't exist.
Okay, I will tell you, there was a man by the name of Smith Wigglesworth, born in this country.
Yeah. This is a miracle
He
you're
was an
telling us about?
atheist. He was an atheist. But this guy got converted. He became a Christian.
I'm not an atheist.
And you know what happened? This man prayed for over 21 people that clinically declared dead, and they came back to life. And not only that,
Should we stand over there? Let's stand over
We
there.
getting
it's
coffee?
rain, my friend. Under the shade, my friend.
Show the earth.
In the bits you don't like on your video. You know that, don't you?
Free game at the station or
No, I'm not. I'm too. I've got too much shit with me, mate.
get yourself one.
I'm gonna get myself one. I've got too much.
I was going to say get me one and get yourself one.
Yeah, I can't. I've got
Yeah,
the
I'd
scooter
prefer.
and scoot and everything.
They come back later, you know, when they
All right.
Ed Dust.
Yeah. Oh, I'm cold. I need to get a hot drink.
Hey, do you know something?
What?
Do you want to do the interview now?
Oh, I'm doing the interview now.
Oi,
I'll see you in
listen,
a bit.
as soon as I... Let me,
Sorry,
hold on.
Be late.
I'm freezing as well, mate. Hold on, let me switch on my other microphone. Oh my God, hey listen, everyone is cold, man.
This is definitely true.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hold on, I'm still setting up.
Oh my
Everyone
God.
must know it's raining today.
Just about to get a hot drink. I think I'm probably going to go after this.
So, you ready for this, Dust?
Yeah.
So, good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me what is your name?
My name is Dust. And this dust comes with 2-year guarantee not to rust.
So, Dust, can I first
Physics
begin?
joke.
Can I first begin by thanking you for giving me this opportunity to interview you? I've had that opportunity to see you down here at Speakers Corner every week for the last few weeks.
Yes.
And I've had a laugh watching and observing you, but can you first start by telling me, where does that name Dust, that don't rust, come from?
Well, it's an honorary title. And what it refers to is just a state of consciousness of how we as organic life have part of a long story of over billions of years of dust starting, getting together, gravity, blocks of it's very hard to think this cold, and how galaxies start from the most smallest bits of elements, and from galaxies born planets, and from planets can be born civilizations, and in these civilizations we have this very beautiful relationship with life, but it is yet very brief and very in a recyclable nature to it as well.
So I fully understand and I note where you're coming from, but can you tell me, in regards to yourself, why is it important for Dust to be down here at Speaker's Corner on a regular basis?
Because I believe there's some very good question, by the way. And
Thank you, I don't ask rubbish.
You are extraordinarily good at your job.
Thank you.
because I do believe that life is, as I've just said, is quite temporary. We are but dust, and to deny a human being an opportunity to feel, love, create, grow, have a relationship with other people, to deny that, and I believe that like Bob the Destroyer comes here, people like that, Hatun, that comes here to shit on people, forest is swearing, but who believe in something, because they don't believe in what their God is or their idea is. They have this idea that they can therefore expunge this human being away from life and stop them from becoming a relationship with a God or a relationship with each other and learning to grow with each other, which I think is fundamentally important. And, you know, I'm sure there are, and I think that to come here and deny people their spirituality is something quite gross. And then spirituality, and also their relationship maybe with atheism or socialism or communism, just to come here and mock people because they don't believe what you believe, rather than come here and talk to people. Because Bob Destroyer doesn't do that. He comes here to mock. I hear him mocking a Muslim, and what he was saying when I was about 2 or 3 weeks ago now, because I think you may have recorded that, he was going, "Oh, your mum's a piece of shit," or something like that. He was mocking this Muslim man's mother. And I was thinking, is that what you think Jesus is? Do you think Jesus comes along and just starts shitting about someone else's mother? Because that's what Bob the Destroyer thinks Jesus is about.
No, if I could come in there, I note your points, and what I don't want to be doing is criticising other people, because that is their approach. But in regards to
I'll do the criticism then.
In regards, thank you. In regards to Speaker's Corner, isn't this the location where people can come and have a debate? But your definition of having an intellectual debate is different to many of the people you've just described, because what they want to do is to mock, to criticise, to slag down, to talk about other members of their family. But you want intellect and you want evidence.
No, I don't want intellect. Obviously I do want intellect and evidence, of course, but in what I've just referred to, I'd like consistency. Right, say, if you're going to roll up and say my God's all better and lovelier than your God, then display that in your own presence and words, in your actions, in your love and respect for life on this planet. Rolling up and going, your mum's a piece of shit, which is what Bob the Destroyer basically said. He was dishing that Muslim man's mum. That's got nothing to do with religion. Bob the Destroyer needs to come here and just do what he does, which is want to hurt people. Don't do it in the name of a God. Do it in the name of Bob the Destroyer. Have some balls.
But yet again, I note your point, but let's not focus on criticising one person. But in general,
as well.
In general, what do you think about the standard of debate here at Speaker's Corner?
Standard amongst the majority of people that actually don't wish to be hypocrites is extraordinarily high, diverse, brilliant, genuine, and genuinely in interaction with another human being, even when that other human being is of a different colour, faith, religion, sexuality, etc., etc., etc. The majority are brilliant here, and do not judge Speaker's Corner based on people like Bob the Destroyer, Hatun, and Pavlov.
No.
On Pavlov and other individuals like this. Base it on the majority of it. They do, because unfortunately the cameras do end up always turning to people like Bob the Destroyer, who's well aware of his effect on Speaker's Corner, and that it's people with cameras have to display a bit of responsibility as well.
In your opinion, has Speaker's Corner changed as a direct result of people having cameras, as a direct result of people having channels? And the reason I answer that question, what I have observed over the last 3-4 months is that some people, they perform for the camera, or they create spectacles for the camera, knowing that it's what their followers like. So and all they're interested in is engagement, the shares, the likes, the follows, and the views. So what I'm saying is that a lot of it's created purely for the camera, and it's not about having a debate.
Yes, there is definitely distortion which happens here in Speaker's Corner. People, you though, I believe, as far as I'm aware, transcends that pettiness. But the person that follows Bob the Destroyer around a lot, he is, what you've just described, he's directly guilty of that. His channel's based on the how horrible Bob the Destroyer is going to be.
But I'm coming away from that. I'm talking about you, and I'm doing it for a reason. But specifically to do with you, I've observed you, and this is no criticism, your approach. And I do like it because it's different. But I do see you interrupting many people and not permitting them to develop their argument. Doesn't matter how reasonable their argument is.
I interrupted Bob when he was abusing another human being. I never interrupted Hatun. I've interrupted the events happened after Hatun, which was her trying to excite a mini riot here for her channel. I interrupted afterwards, not during her build-up with her usual tools of deception, genuine disgust for another human beings because they believe in a God. That's yeah. So you saw me interrupting Bob there, and yes, there are times when, but this is Speaker's Corner, and it's permissible to be person to come here and interact, not in the way that the actual individual wishes. Which I'm a speaker here for over 5 years now, and over the 5 years, though I've experienced the same interaction with people, but at least when I'm doing it, I'm not doing it to just stop somebody from talking. I'm doing it to point out the hypocrisy that certain individuals displaying, like Bob the Destroyer, or now we should call him Runaway Bob. He loves to run away. I point out, does Jesus go around just shitting on people? Is that what Jesus did? Because that's what Bob the Destroyer believes Jesus did.
Why has this place...
Can I answer?
No, in a minute. Why has this place... Why... I'm talking with him. Why has this place, encouraged and motivated so many people on a weekly basis just to come down here and talk about religion?
That's a really good question, and I'm not actually sure I can answer. I believe one of the reasons why it's now becoming quite religious dominated is simply because people have expression now in other areas of society, in other parts of Twitter, so the actual need to say something is not so demanding as it used to be, where religious people obviously don't really have that. No, it's not really. They just got a... I'm not 100% sure about that, but I think religious people just can have... all right, here's maybe a possible answer. Because religious people know that they can abuse other religious people here and get away with it. Where if they did it out on the street, that's actually a crime, just to shit on people.
That's an interesting angle. You can come here, say whatever you want to say, and it's not a crime.
It's not a crime. But I do believe shitting on people for their belief should be, there should be some sort of intervention, because that is, because like Bob and Hatun just come here to trigger violence and therefore martyr themselves in that violence.
But they're not here to defend themselves against what you are saying. And when I get the opportunity, when I get the opportunity, I will speak to them specifically, and I will put that point to them. But can I thank you very much, Dus, for giving me this opportunity. As you know, I like to come down here and engage and have a laugh and joke, just like yourself. I know it's freezing cold, but I will let you go and get your cup of coffee, and you will be...
Can I say something before he go?
No, sir.
Just say one thing.
No, sir, I'm talking to him.
I'll just say one last thing. Thank you ever so much for your time, and I hope you can visit my poetry website, poemsofdust.blog.com, all one word. And your energy and commitment to Speaker's Corner is notable, as brilliant and beautiful, and with no bias.
I try to be impartial. This gentleman wants to talk, and now I will allow him to talk, but what I don't do is engage with the standard of debate which I see taking place down here with people interrupting. So if you want to come round, sir, and if you want to say what you want to say, and come forward a bit, Thank you. Go round there.
I just want to say,
go round,
yeah,
sir.
I just want to say that this gentleman who was talking before me, he was talking about the individual. If individual is coming here and speaking against other, it's wrong. Bob and Hatun, they never talked about him.
Can I come in there?
They never talked against him.
Sir, I fully agree with what you've just said.
Yes.
They were not here to defend what he is saying. And I agree with you, but let me ask you some questions.
Yes.
Sir, what's your name?
My name is Asif.
So tell me, Asif,
Yeah.
I see you down here most weeks, and I can see you enjoy coming down to Speaker's Corner.
That's right.
Why is it important for you to be here, sir?
To share my Jesus.
No need to lean forward, just be yourself.
To share my Jesus with Muslims, those who are gone astray. To bring them back to Jesus, because Jesus taught me to bring those who are gone astray, teach them and show them about me and my love and my salvation, which I have paid for each and every person on the cross. This is my main purpose of coming here.
And have you managed to achieve your main purpose in coming down here every week, sharing all this love and words with others? Have you achieved your aims?
Yes, that's why I'm coming over and over again. Otherwise I would have stopped, like many have stopped. Many have stopped coming here.
So you have longevity.
Yeah, because last 15 years I'm coming here. 15 years I'm coming here, and I'm sharing my Jesus with them. And I'm sure my Jesus is leading and guiding those who are hearing his name, and Holy Spirit is working on their heart. Whether they openly accept it or not, that's up to them. But I'm sure, because the Bible says that you have to sow the seed and God will look after the seed. And God will see the fruit. So that's my work here.
So would you agree it's important for people like yourself to be down here weekly from all different religions, all different nationalities, all different genders, to share your ideas with others? How important is that?
I'm so thankful for this government, the British government, that they have opened this corner for us and for all other religion to come here and share their thoughts without having a fight with each other, without trying to kill each other.
But if I can jump in there, there was an incident here at Speaker's Corner, I believe the 26th or 27th of July of last year with Hatun, where someone tried to kill her. So I'm just contradicting your argument. Someone has attempted to kill someone here at Speaker's Corner as a direct result of not agreeing with their approach to discussion.
Sir, you know very well that many times, the black sheep also entered in a true sheep. in a true sheep, and those black sheep are actually a wolf in a sheep's clothing. And the wolf has a tendency of biting, killing, and destroying. Basically, their motivation or their aim is to finish this corner. Behind their mind is to finish this corner so that they cannot be point out. Their mistake cannot be point out. Their weakness cannot be point out. Their what you say, untruthful scripture cannot be point out. That's the aim behind those people who are trying to kill Hatun or my friend Bob. That's their aim behind it.
But would you agree, in a location like this, where you've got so many different religions having debates, this is a place where people are not going to agree. You shouldn't be saying this about my prophet. You shouldn't be saying this about my Jesus. You shouldn't be saying this about my God. So this is always a location for conflict, but we can do it in a respectful way.
The main purpose of this corner was that we share our thought with each other.
Yeah.
Though we have an agreement or disagreement, doesn't make any difference. As long as we are sharing our thought, as long as we are giving our point of view, it is up to the person who is listening whether he is taking it in or not. That's up to him.
Excellent stuff. But my final point is, as you know, I try to be devil's advocate in how I conduct myself down here at Speaker's Corner. I do not try, I've got no views on what people say, and I try to give everyone an opportunity to say their point of view, but I will challenge people. In closing with yourself, is there anything you would like to add that I have yet to giving you the opportunity to say?
Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity and time. I would like to comment on the gentleman who was here and who was accusing Bob and Hatun by saying that they are always talking against other religion, whereas they have always produced the evidence from their scripture, from their books. They have always do that. They have never said anything from their own heart or from their own mouth. They have always produced evidence and references all the time. So this gentleman who is accusing for nothing, I'm sure that Hatun and Mr. Bob, they have never talked against him. They have always spoken to the Muslim people, and they have spoken with the references all the time, and they never spoke against them, because their Quran is talking against me and my Bible and against my faith. So don't we have a right to defend ourselves?
Yes, you do, and you've just done so, and you've addressed an important issue, and I've given you that chance to correct something which someone said. But down here, people can say whatever they want, but it's down to people like myself, from a journalistic point of view, to tackle those people.
Yes. So when we say something with our Muslim friends, we say according to their Quran. The Quran, Surah 9 verse 5 says, Surah 9 verse 5 says that kill Jews and Christians wherever you find them. You know why? Because they don't believe on Allah and they don't believe on Prophet Muhammad. That is true. We don't believe on their Allah. We don't believe on their Prophet. According to Quran and according to Bible, whoever brings the false revelation is a false prophet. Am I right, brother?
I've no idea, sir. All I do know is that I'm taking on face value what you have said is correct. My religious views are irrelevant. So if I'm saying if a book is right or wrong, I'm giving a view, and that's not what I'm here to do.
Yes. So if the book which they say it's from Allah, and the same book says that Allah has 3 daughters, Lat, Munat and Uzad. This proves that this Allah is idol God. This God is not a true God. And not only this, but even Surah 22 verse 52 clearly prove that the revelation which Muhammad was receiving from Satan, because Satan was putting in Muhammad's mouth. So when we are pointing this, when we are saying this, it's not us who are saying. It is their scripture are teaching us to say this.
But can I thank you for giving me this opportunity? As you know, the rain is coming down, it's hard.
Thank you so much.
And I'm now going to another location to get some shelter because electronic equipment and water don't mix.
Thank you.
And it's thousands of pounds worth of equipment.
Thank
So
you
I'm
so
now
much.
going to go elsewhere.
Thank you so much.
But thank you for giving StreetMic this opportunity
Thank you so much.
to engage with you. But I'm now getting out of the rain.
Thank you, brother.
No
Thank you.
problem.
God bless you, brother.
And
Thank
I've
you.
no doubt we'll catch up when the rain stops.
Yeah, thank you. Yes.
Thanks a lot, man. Yeah.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you.
So I'm now going to go to another location where it's not as wet. Well, I hope it's not as wet.
So you're participating.
So there is a point in time where you.
But the soul is created. It's not uncreated.
So God can
this is a
destroy
radical.
infinity then.
This is a radical. No, there is no eternal.
Can
The
I show your
soul
body?
is a created thing.
But
In the
it can
Christian
become
worldview.
eternal.
No, it can continue to live from the point of its creation. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm not saying that it has an eternal past. I am saying
The Bible
that
is saying you will be in hell eternally.
I am saying that God can permit the soul that He creates to continue in its eternal
Right, but
future.
the Bible doesn't say that by God's will or until He says so you'll be in hell, or until He wants you. He says you will be there eternally.
Yes, that's fine.
Eternally.
So what's your
that
problem?
means that this soul that's there is eternal because it's experiencing.
Are you redefining eternal?
No, I'm not.
So we
eternal
agree.
means
So
infinite.
are we saying-
No beginning, no end.
No, so you're redefining what I said. Listen to what I say. Because you're asking about my belief, Raphael. If you ask about my belief, you've got to listen to what I say to you about my belief.
Okay.
I said to you that the soul is created. That means it has a beginning. Say it has a beginning.
But I'm saying that's a
Do
contradiction.
you
But
know?
what I'm saying,
No.
what you're saying is a contradiction.
No.
do you mean,
Hold
no?
on 1 second. Hold on 1 second.
I understand what you're saying.
This is sophism of the worst kind. You're just playing with words.
Okay.
Use
Sure.
whatever language whatever language suits you best. If you don't like the word eternal, pick another one. But listen to what I'm saying and then use whatever language you want to describe what I'm saying, the process. The soul has a beginning. If God wants it to, it can continue to exist. And that existence can go on for eternity. Okay? That's what I'm talking about. Now, what would you like to say in response to that? Because I would like to come back to something that you said.
Okay, well, I think that's not the way that God has made us, and I don't think that's how God works. That's proven by our scriptures. But let's move on to because then if I'm gonna keep going back at it, then I'm just picking. So
Raphael, let's thank you. Raphael, let's. He's a good hype man, isn't he, JC? He's a charwaller and everything.
I like that.
So Raphael, like you stated, and it's on camera, that you believe that your God has deceived you.
Yes.
Now, if someone deceived you in ordinary life, would you trust them?
We're talking about God here, not somebody that has no relevance to me.
It has really importance, because if you're saying that God is a deceiver, firstly, for us immediately, every Christian knows that Satan is the father of lies. So immediately, this is the reason why we Christians say that the Hindu gods are demons. Because by your own admission, the Hindu god lies, and by our theology, a liar is the devil.
So he's deceived us, but he gave us the truth.
Why did he bother to deceive you in the first place?
That's up to him. God knows best.
Okay, so your God is a fickle God then? A morally fickle God.
That's your opinion, right? I mean, that's as much as me saying that I believe that putting a soul into eternal hell is wrong. That's up to my feelings and my emotions and my opinion. What I'm bringing forth to you is that yes, we're deluded. Aren't you saying that God has sent you into a world of sin and you are in sin? Christianity claims the same, that you're born in sin, you're deluded, you're sinful, right? But I gave you the truth. It's the same thing. So where is the contradiction?
Okay, so allow me to explain.
Go on.
Firstly, a fickle God, a fickle person, is someone who just does what they want with no consistency, no moral consistency. Allah is a fickle God described in the Quran. He does what he wants. The Hindu God is a fickle God.
Why?
He does what he wants.
Why?
You just said that Krishna deceives you and gives you the truth. And I asked you, well, why did he deceive you in the first place? And your reply was that God does what he wants. Well,
God
the Christian
best.
God,
God knows best.
Fine,
I didn't say that he.
Raphael,
that's why he
Raphael,
did it.
Raphael.
No, because what you're
Allow
doing,
me to
brother,
finish a
what you're
point.
doing now is I
Raphael.
told you God knows best, and you
Raphael.
said that I said God does what he wants.
Raphael.
Does God do what he wants? Of course he's God.
No, hold on. Let me explain a fundamental difference.
Okay.
So the reason why I would invite you and all Hindus to become Christians is because the God of the Christians displays all the moral characteristics that he commands and calls us to display. No, let me finish.
Krishna.
Except that Krishna is a liar.
Why is he a liar?
Right, you said that Krishna deceives us, yes or no?
Yes.
Is someone who deceives you a liar?
No.
There you go. This is the irrationality of Hindu belief.
Lying is not giving the truth, but Krishna is giving the truth. So where is he a liar?
So he didn't deceive you then?
Deceiving and lying is two different things.
So you
deceiving
said,
is going away from the objective.
Raphael,
lying is that the objective
Raphael,
doesn't.
I'm only going off what you, Raphael. I'm only going off what you're saying.
Yes.
So and we've got it all on camera, bro. You said Krishna deceives you.
I didn't
now,
change
anything. Would you like to
said.
take that back and say Krishna doesn't deceive you?
No.
I gave him a way out, guys. I gave him an exit, and he didn't take it.
So are you saying I'm contradicting myself?
No, what I'm saying is you're not contradicting yourself. You're being quite consistent. What I'm saying is that you can't see the logical consequence of your statements. Because if you're saying Krishna deceives you, then I'm right to say that Krishna is a deceiver. And if Krishna is a deceiver, then he is an inferior God to Yahweh, because Yahweh is the father of all truth.
Can Yahweh deceive?
The provocateurs alerthios, the spirit of truth, the Holy Spirit, the pneuma hagios, that Christ promised us is described by Christ in John 14 to 16 as the Spirit of truth.
Okay.
God reveals truth.
Why does he have to
doesn't
reveal this to you?
Right, great question. So this is a fundamental difference between the Christian worldview and the Hindu worldview as you represent it. And to be fair,
good
guys,
that you say that, because I want to say this is all for me. Like, this is coming from me.
to
not
fair,
every Hindu. They will all tell you different. Just like Krishna. Just like if I ask a question for a Christian,
on every
pastor
central
would
doctrine I
answer
do.
differently.
On every central doctrine, I speak for all Christians, because you cannot be a Christian unless you believe in the Creed of Nicaea.
That's up to him to deal with.
Anyway,
that's a bold statement, bro.
Separate talk.
That's a bold statement.
Separate talk.
Go on.
So, speaking about your representation of Hinduism, okay? Because I want to free the Hindu world from what this man is saying. Like you have represented Krishna as a liar, and he is responsible for the deceit that we endure. In the Christian worldview, right, what has happened is that human nature is corrupted. Human nature
so he
is
created
broken.
you corrupted.
No, the corruption came right back at the first humans.
So something that's in my nature happened after creation.
Correct, yes.
Okay.
And it's passed on genetically from father to son, from father to son, from father to son.
So God allowed that to happen.
So from the first humans that are represented by Adam in Genesis, down through the genealogies of all human beings, there has been an innate selfishness, a corruption of the nature that turns away from God, that is blinded to God.
Yeah.
God is not responsible. He did not proactively do that.
Yeah.
What he did is he created an environment in which something could happen. He didn't make it happen. You're saying Krishna made it happen.
No.
Oh, now you're not. So he's not responsible
I'm saying
for
that
the
Krishna
deceit.
created Maya.
God, who's Maya?
Maya is the world that we're experiencing. It is an illusion, because an illusion means that it is not the way as we perceive it to be. It is the way we perceive it is not how it is.
Okay, let me reply to that.
Okay.
Because what you've done is confirm that Krishna is a liar. Because Krishna created an illusion.
Yes. Okay, perfect. That's up to you. You can call Krishna a liar. It doesn't make a difference.
No, you called him a liar. I'm calling him a liar because of what you said.
That's like me saying that your God is not all merciful because he sends people to eternal hell.
Right, so let me address that point.
This is out of your feelings, brother.
No. Let me address that point
Scripture.
because you're totally wrong again in your perception of the Christian faith. The scriptures are very clear that God so loved the world that he gave his only son, that whomever should believe in him shall not perish but have eternal life.
Right.
Now, what does that mean?
That means he put you in misery and then he has to save you from that misery.
No, hold on.
Yeah,
the difference between us, Raphael, is I'm basing my commentary on what you're saying. You're not listening to what I'm saying.
I'm fine with what you're saying.
So, right. So
what I'm saying that
allow
your response to it is absolutely rubbish.
Allow me to explain the Christian position, because like lots of people, you just don't understand it.
Dude, you can't talk.
Raphael, you see, you're not even listening now.
Okay.
Like, this conversation is actually breaking down because you don't have the emotional and mental maturity to keep up.
I do, but what you're saying
listen to
is
what
that
I'm saying.
calling God a liar.
Listen, you are saying it. You said that Krishna created Maya, and Maya is an illusion.
I just want to say this.
Is an illusion a deceit or reality?
It's the sky blue.
It's an illusion from our point of view.
So it's an illusion.
Yes.
Is an illusion a deceit or reality?
It's a deceit.
There you go. So
But
I'm
you
not
are
calling
the
Krishna
but
a
you
liar.
are the reality.
He's calling Krishna a liar.
Okay, but what am I also saying? That Krishna says that you are the reality. So know yourself and you will know that this is an illusion.
So let me come back to something.
So you can say he's a liar, right? But he also gave you the alternative to what he created.
Okay, he done.
Yes.
Okay, so allow me to reply to something that he said. That our God is not all merciful because he sends people to hell.
I'm saying it's like saying
Raphael. Let me reply to that comment.
The camera knows. Yeah.
Raphael, yeah, exactly. Don't worry, people will see.
I'm not worried. I'm trying to get you to understand. I don't care about the people.
Raphael, if you keep interrupting me, I'm going to start interrupting you. And I guarantee when I do, you're going to start complaining. And then if we start talking over one another, I will raise my voice. And I promise you, I can raise my voice louder than you. And I can do it for longer. So let's have a polite conversation.
I beat him at that at one time. He did beat me at that one time. He did beat me at that one time.
So let's come back to this point, okay? Right. So in terms of your statement about, you know, oh, God is not merciful. God has given salvation as a free gift to every Hindu. To use an analogy of a debt, right? We're all in debt to God. It's an analogy, okay? And God has given everyone the check in the back pocket. You've got it in your back pocket. The pagan's got it in his back pocket. Uncle Asif had it in his back pocket. JC had it in his back pocket. I don't know this brother.
StreetMic.
But Christian or not, StreetMic had it or has it in his back pocket. The difference between the Christian and the non-Christian is that the Christian cashed the check. It doesn't mean that you haven't got the check. You just haven't cashed it. So it's not that God hasn't given you salvation. He has freely. He's given it to you now as a Hindu. You just haven't accepted it. That's why we Christians say God is all merciful. Because everyone, pagan, Hindu, Muslim, Jew, atheist, agnostic, has been given the check now as they are. But you cash it by accepting the Lordship of Jesus Christ.
Right.
Well, all I would say to that really is that Krishna has already given us salvation. We are that salvation that we're looking for. We just have to go backwards and inwards instead of trying to find it in the outer world.
But my point is, the reason why I reject Krishna, bearing in mind that this is
Krishna
one
is not
God.
the only God in Hinduism.
Yeah, I know. Apparently, to you, I'm a God. You're a God. So
that's your definition.
Okay, what's your
God.
definition of God?
So God Himself, unexplainable. We don't know.
Unexplainable.
There are some attributes that I can point out to. Such as He is smaller than the smallest and biggest of the biggest.
Okay.
He is infinite. He was never born. He will never die.
Are you never born? You never die?
Yes, I am. I share that attribute with Him.
You share that attribute.
I don't share his personal desire. I don't share his personal will and his personal. I get the attributes from it, like the essence, like love and kindness. I get those, but I don't actually get his actual personality.
Good afternoon, all. I'm now going to...
The only way I can experience an infinity is by dissolving into his infinity, his infinite energy.
Good afternoon, all. My name is Wendell Daniel, and I'm now going to interrupt for a few moments, and I hope I'm not disturbing my colleagues next door.
All right.
Welcome to StreetMic, and today we're coming to you live and direct from Speaker's Corner here in London on the regular Sunday debates which take place down here. And today there's not as many people down here because it's raining, it's wet, and it's a horrible day, but that doesn't matter. What does matter is that we're down here capturing debates that are taking place, and I hope you do like what you're seeing. I hope you do like what you're hearing. And one thing I will say, I would like to thank a person who sent me a message on my way down here this afternoon. And normally I don't do these type of things. I'm objective, but today I'm not being objective, I'm being subjective. And that's one of my colleagues next door who's also live streaming. But the person who sent me a message, he knows who he is, and he works for Network Rail. And I'm actually going to read his message when I find it. And I'm currently looking for it on my phone. This is the message that the person sent to me earlier on. He said, can you stop making me watch your videos? I have a whole load of YouTube videos to watch as it is. I do like Speakers Corner ones though. See you live at 13:30. So that's the person, he knows who he is. I know, I can see he's currently typing on his phone, but he is watching from somewhere in London, and he's watching StreetMic, and I thank you. And he does work for London Overground, and I'm now going to be going back to this debate. But if you like what you're seeing, give me the thumbs up, make your comments down below, share and follow. So if you like what you're seeing, give me the thumbs up, make your comments down below, share and follow. I'm currently live on StreetMic podcast on Facebook. You can also find me on StreetMic LiveStream on YouTube. You can find me live also on Vimeo. I can also be found on Instagram, but I'm not live on Instagram. And don't forget, switch on your notification bell so that every time StreetMic goes live, you will be informed. So switch on your notification bell on Facebook and also on YouTube so that every time we go live, you will be informed. So let's go back now and listen to this debate.
The lies from the truth.
It's a liar to you, not to me.
Shall I tell you the way to answer my question?
Oh, so you're asking me a question and you're telling me how to answer.
I'm telling you a better answer than the one you've offered me. The one you've offered me doesn't answer my question.
You know why my answer is weak? Because the question is weak, brother. So you're not getting to the heart of the problem.
No,
you're saying
missing
that
the problem.
Krishna is a liar. You made that claim, not anybody on
the camera will show you said Krishna deceives us. That's your words.
That's the nature of his creation. You can think of it as bad, but he gave us the truth.
So now that we've established that Krishna deceives us, right? The question then becomes, how do we distinguish truth from lies? And I'll tell you how we do that. The way we distinguish truth from lies is that narrative that best describes reality.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So what is reality? Before you dive into reality, it's not real. Explain me reality.
So reality is the fullness of our experiences, both metaphysical. No, there's more than 5 senses. Both metaphysical and sensual.
Metaphysical and sensual.
Yes.
Sensual has 5 senses.
There's more than 5 senses, but yes, 5 senses are included.
Tell me more.
Well, you've got your sense of balance. You've got your sense of the end of your body.
Right, but how do you
Where does your body stop? But it's all done through the nerves in the brain.
So that's all through 5 senses.
No, that's more than 5 senses. But let's not get caught up on that.
No, it is important.
All right, fine. Let's debate how many senses there are. How many senses do you think there are?
5.
Right. What are they?
Touch, smell, hearing, seeing, and I forgot the fifth.
Tasting.
Taste.
Right. Where's your sense of balance in that?
I experience the balance through the connection of all 5 senses.
Bro, you're just being a contrarian. The sense of balance is not in your 5 lists. So clearly, I've just identified a 6th sense.
Okay,
now, can we stop having a little debate about an insignificant point because emotionally you've got the temperament of a contrarian, and can we deal with the much bigger point, which is what is the nature of reality? Would you agree that's much more important than arguing about whether there's 5 senses or 20 odd senses? Right. By the way, there's 20 odd senses. Aristotle was wrong. Right. So reality is the fullness of all that we experience.
I just want to say this. The reason I said that
and senses,
because I thought you were going to only talk about the material parts of life. Like seeing and tasting. That's why I thought you were going to refer to reality.
Well, this is another big difference between Christianity and Hinduism, as you represent it. Yeah. Is that Christianity says the material world is good. You're saying that it's illusion.
But does an illusion have to be bad?
Yes, because it's based on a deceit.
Okay,
Unless
so
it's
if
for
I see the
entertainment
sky
and it's
as
Paul
blue-
Daniels. If it's Paul Daniels, illusions are good.
Okay, listen. So if I see the sky is blue, doesn't matter to me. I know it's not blue. I'm still illusion to me. It's an illusion to me. Doesn't matter to my life.
It's not an illusion.
It's not an. You don't see it as it is. That's the definition of illusion.
No. I am seeing a grey sky. Does everyone agree that we're seeing a grey sky right now?
So we're all in illusion because the sky is actually not grey.
Right. No, hold on 1 second. The problem is the problem is how we understand the terminology. And this comes to the question of truth. The question of truth is that narrative that explains the reality. So let's use the example of the colour of the sky. The colour of the sky is grey. That is the reality that we're all experiencing right now. These are grey clouds, okay? But the reality, the truth is that what we are seeing is a refraction of light.
So he
of
just said,
white light.
he just said that what we perceive to be real isn't real,
No.
but there's truth to it.
No,
You
hold
just
on.
said.
What would that? I'm not saying that this is an illusion. I would like to see the person that would argue that that sky is not grey. The reality is that it is grey.
To your experience.
Correct.
Exactly.
And that's what reality is.
So anything that's in your experience is reality. The whole bunch of
The
experiences.
fullness. Right, now what is truth? Truth is the narrative that describes reality accurately.
Hinduism does not make a distinction between reality and truth. We say there is one
Your
reality.
Hinduism. Your Hinduism.
Okay, yeah. We say there's one reality. Anything other than that is an illusion. It is for knowledge, not for saying, "Oh, I'm scared because the sky is blue." It's because for knowledge to know that the sky is not blue, but it is appearing to you as blue because of the way you're set, your body is made. Because God knows that a dog would see the sky differently, you know. So that's my point, that there's one reality, not one truth and one reality. I'm saying there's one reality, and the way we experience that reality is an illusion.
Right. So, and what I'm saying to you is that if your God has made it incapable
It's not my
for
God, it's your
you-
God as well.
No,
There's
no.
one God.
Krishna is not the God of the Christians. The church does not recognize Krishna as a God.
No, I know,
We
but
don't
my-
recognize
yeah.
Shiva as a God.
Is
We don't
Jesus-
recognize.
is Jesus the
We
all-attractive?
don't recognize
Is Jesus the
as
all-attractive?
God. We don't recognize.
These are names.
You know,
God doesn't have a name. When I say Krishna, Krishna means all attractive.
so
all
God doesn't have a
attractive.
name.
God does not have a name.
So what's the name of your God?
I can say he's God. I can say he's Krishna. I can say that he's the most powerful. I can say that he's the most just. But there's not one word, a name I can give God that I can say he is.
So he has many names.
Yes, exactly.
So-
God has many names because the
You're
moment
just-
we describe him,
You're just being a contrarian because I never said that God couldn't have many names. I
but
just
you're
said.
saying it's my God.
Yeah, well, it
There
is
is
your
no
God.
such
You're-
thing as
you're-
my
well,
God.
actually, I'll be even more specific.
Yeah.
You are worshipping a demon.
Daimon.
You are worshipping a devil.
Daimon.
A Satan. One of the legions of Satan that roam this world seeking the ruin of souls and seeking that men should worship worship the creation rather than the creator. And that is what Hinduism is. From root to branch.
So you're
Hinduism
saying
is a lie of the
not in
devil.
creation.
What?
So the creator is not in creation? It's
The
not in-
creator is the essence of the creator is not in creation. No.
The essence of it is not.
His energies are active in creation all the time. Me and you are
Can you use
stupid
those
talking.
energies to reach his essence?
Yes. Yes, you go along this process infinitely of progressing along the energies of God, so that you become more and more like God. In the same way that if I take a knife and I stick it in a hot furnace, eventually the knife will take on the properties of the furnace.
Good.
It will,
Perfect.
One second. One second. I'm talking about Christianity now. that it will take on the properties of the furnace. It will have light. It will give out heat. It will burn you if you touch it. But at no point can we say that the flame and the steel are the same thing.
Right. If I throw it in the fire, will it eventually get dissolved into it? Like dissipate? Like
Well,
turn into ash?
the analogy stops there. I mean, you can stretch
Why
every
does-
analogy.
okay,
You
so-
can stretch
yeah.
every analogy to the point of breaking. I'm using that analogy to explain how Christians understand participation in the energies of God as being distinct from the essence of God.
So can you explain this to me?
Well, this is the point. Christians say that the energy is, the essence is unknowable. There's no language that we have to describe the essence of God. We can only say what it isn't. We can't say what it is.
So then would it be, so then if you can't say what it is, can you like say that it's all powerful, infinite?
These are the energies.
These are the energies?
Yes.
So the essence of God, so is
the essence of God is beyond all description. There's no human language that can describe the essence of God. Everything that we describe about God is his energies, and it's in his energies that we can participate.
So let me ask you a question on this then. If God's energies, right, are any of them infinite? Or any of them like made kind of like, you know, that are relate to his attributes? One of his attributes?
Well, the essence, I would say, I mean, I've got to say that I'm not an expert on this. But what I would say is if you want to read further on it, read a book by Gregory Palamas called The Triads. Yeah, that's where I would direct you to go. There's two metaphysical descriptions. You've got to understand how doctrine works in Christianity. This is an important point. Doctrine is our attempt to describe metaphysical reality. And there are two principal descriptions that run within the Christian worldview. One is a Thomistic divine simplicity, and the other is the energy essence distinction of Gregory Palamas. Okay, these are doctrinal descriptions of the metaphysical reality. Remember, truth and reality are distinct things. Truth is the best description. Truth is the best description of reality. That's an important thing that you've got to recognize.
So you are bound in this reality. You will never go into the truth. Like a soul.
No. We believe that as Christians we enter into the divine energies, we participate in the divine energies, and we progress along those divine energies infinitely towards the essence. That's a journey that begins here and continues in the next world. Okay? So that's what we believe as Christians. That is the nature of salvation. Christ, the Logos, Jesus Christ, became human so that the fullness of your humanity could be redeemed. He conquered death by laying down his human life on the cross and raising it back up again, so that death over you as a mortal being could be conquered, and so that you could begin the journey of theosis, sanctification, divinization.
Yeah, so theosis would be kind of, would you say that, because I don't actually know what it's the definition of.
Come closer.
Would you say that theosis is the infinite?
A little bit louder.
Be a gentleman and put the lady under your umbrella. Come closer. Come closer. It's sad that I have to tell a pagan how to behave around a woman. Carry on.
According to my understanding of Hinduism, there is dual and there is non-dual. And this is what I meant by dissolving into his infinite energy. That's the non-dual version, because you lose your sense of self.
Right.
Like you don't know yourself anymore. You are just accepting as what God says you are, and you're just infinitely abiding by it. Right? Without a body, without intellect, without anything, you just are that. Okay? So, but there is, God has put up heavens and hells where these souls are damned. They are subject to it until they come to realization. There are heavens where we agree, where we praise that infinite forever. He gives us a platform to do it on. He gives us heavens where we eternally worship Him.
But that's still part of the cycle of birth and rebirth, isn't it?
No,
because hold on. Isn't the point of the cycle of birth and rebirth that you achieve the oneness with Om?
Yes.
And that in that oneness with Om, the sense of self disappears. Right. But the point is, if there are lower heavens where you continue to praise on, that means there still is a sense of self.
Good afternoon all yet again for all of you who are watching. My name is Wendell Daniel and welcome to StreetMic, and we're live streaming live and direct from Speaker's Corner here in a wet, cold, soggy London. And if you like what you're seeing, give me the thumbs up, make your comments down below, share and follow. So if you like this live stream, give me the thumbs up, make your comments down below, share and follow. We're currently live streaming on Facebook on StreetMic podcast. We are also live streaming on YouTube on StreetMic live stream. We are also live on Vimeo. You can find me on Instagram, but I don't live stream on Instagram. So we're currently live streaming on 3 different networks. And please switch on your notification bell so that every time StreetMic goes live, you will be informed. And yesterday we was out in Westminster with Mr. Corbyn, and it was all to do with the cost of fuel. So it was the fuel protest yesterday, and it's freezing cold down here in Speaker's Corner. The usual people who are down here are not here today because it's wet, but I'll probably be leaving here in about half an hour's time because rain and electronic equipment doesn't mix, and I forgot my brolly. But we are currently listening to a debate which is taking place, and I'm now going to be returning, but we should be shutting down early today due to the rain. So in about half an hour's time, StreetMic live stream down here at Speaker's Corner will be coming to an end.
I'll come to Islam. I'll debate you on Islam. If you interrupt, I'll debate you on Islam. I promise you. Yeah? So, that Christ has never done anything wrong, but here a Hindu is saying that his God that he worships is a deceiver. And he has given no reason and no way by which we can tell truth from error, except that we just got to believe what Krishna the liar tells us.
When did I say that? I gave you that the scriptures are the way to the truth. I told you that meditation is the way to the truth. Yoga, bhakti, which is devotion to God.
And who told you to meditate?
Gurus, sages, the teachers.
So Krishna doesn't teach you to.
Yes, he does.
There we go then. So the way to the truth is coming from Krishna, the one you say lied to you in the first place.
Okay, I mean, if that's your interpretation of it, sure.
I'm only going off what you said.
No, you're adding stuff. So listen, my point is that God has created mind, which is an illusion.
Which is an illusion.
Yes, which is an illusion, right? You live in this illusion, but he gave you the truth to this illusion. And also in this illusion, it is not bad. Life is great. There's nothing, I don't think that...
Except that we're living in a lie.
No, it's not a lie. You don't see it the way it is. You can see it the way it is. That's what he's telling you.
So it isn't the way that it is.
Exactly. To your, it is.
Can you define to me what a lie is?
A lie is hiding the truth.
A lie is hiding the truth.
Or not explaining the truth.
So it isn't the way it is. Is that fair? Would it be fair to me to say that a lie is saying something isn't the way that it is?
It would be if God didn't give us the truth with it. He gave us the truth with it, so therefore
but
we
he would
cannot
have
say
no
it was a lie.
reason, no need to give us the truth if he didn't lie to us.
But he didn't lie. He created you in a world that
What's an illusion?
you don't see it the way it is.
What's an illusion?
An illusion is you don't see it the way it is.
What's a deception?
I think it's the same thing.
That guy's, I rest my case.
I did not.
I rest my case.
Listen, brother. I didn't try to say that what you're saying is wrong about deception. I'm saying about lying.
I want to give you the words of Jesus. Jesus says, "I am the way, the truth, and the life." Now, what this means for Christians is that, firstly, in the person of Christ Himself, we see the truth about He is the prism. He is the singular prism by which we can understand ourselves, our place in the world, and the world itself.
And what I'm saying that
Right?
this is individual to everyone.
Furthermore, the way, when we say Christ is the way, we are saying that in the imitation of Christ, we embody the truth within our own being, within our own existence. Okay? That we reorientate our lives towards God by imitation of Christ, because he is the way. And he is the life, because right now, bro, you are dead in your sin. Your soul is dead.
If it would be, then would I be able to have compassion, love, and joy on my day-to-day living? Would that be possible if I'm absolutely
Yes, of course,
spiritually dead?
of course, because these things are not the things that give you life.
So joy, happiness, and all
let
of
me
these
explain.
things
Yeah, these
don't bring benefits
Yes,
in life.
no, of course they bring benefits in life. But in terms of your relationship with God, you're a dead man.
But how do you know? Because you don't know my experience.
Because those that are alive in Christ have life eternal. Those that are not alive in Christ are dead in their sin. So all Hindus are dead in their sins. Yeah? That's, and what I'm saying to you, bro, is that on the one hand, you could follow a God. Yeah, do you want to change battery? All right, you change battery. Let's just stand and freeze a bit more. How's your battery doing?
Listen, mine can go for about 10 hours.
Great. You should come and film me more.
I think I'm gonna go.
I'm live streaming, by the way.
Bro, I'm exactly the same.
Action!
Right, so I want to leave you with this final point. Right? In our conversation today, you have given me the option between Christ and Krishna. And I have given you the option between Christ and Krishna. You gave it from Krishna's perspective, I gave it from Christ's perspective. I would say to you that if you're concerned about truth, you need to follow the owner of all truth, the giver of all truth, the one who is truth himself, which is Jesus Christ. And you should reject him that openly admits to you that he is a deceiver and a liar. Because the father of lies is Satan himself.
Yeah.
In my conclusion, I'd like to say that his argument was against his argument against Krishna's illusion that our world is very weak. I think it was out of emotion and feelings, and not. It was actually more of questioning the way God created us, instead of accepting that there's more to life than just what as we see it.
Bob.
There you go.
Okay. Anything else?
Right. So what I'm saying that his argument was very weak, and I told him that it's his opinion that it's a lie, that it's this and that. It's an emotional argument, not a logical or intellectual one at all.
Okay, I'd like to give you a gift, Raphael. Everyone I have a nice conversation with, I'd like to give them a gift. So I'd like to give you a gift to have a read through.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Sorry for getting a bit
Don't worry
angry
about
in the
it.
beginning.
Don't worry about it.
I
Have you
think it
seen
got better
so-called
as we went.
Trust me, you were very pleasant.
No
Very
problem.
pleasant.
God bless all of you.
God bless.
Excuse me, sir. Sir, if you come and talk to
Okay,
StreetMic.
I'd like
Talk
to do
to
a
who?
talk.
My name's Wendell Daniel from StreetMic.
StreetMic.
I'm currently live streaming, so
What's up, everybody?
hold on. So if you look into the camera, sir, if you come round a bit. So, come round a bit. Tell me, what's your name?
Raphael.
So, Raphael, tell me about what it was like for you to just have a debate with Bob.
It was okay. I think he's a great intellectual. I think he's a great believer in Christ. And God bless him and his dharma and his righteous living. But I think his argument against Krishna was very weak. I think it was more emotional instead of logical.
And how important is it for you to be able to engage with someone like Bob in a respectful debate, which I just witnessed?
Right. I mean, I think all human beings should have this ability to talk to one another with respect and and not having this eagerment of just being right, but actually just saying the truth as it is, or trying to say the truth as it is. Because that's a very important teaching that the Guru say, that you don't try to make your own interpretations of things at all times. You should say what they have said.
And did you find today for you was an opportunity for you to learn something new?
Today, in our particular discussion, no. I'm sure if I asked questions about the Bible and stuff, I'm sure Bob would be able to tell me and answer me. But unfortunately, today's topic, I didn't learn anything. I don't think he learned anything. I think it was more of a. It wasn't a good. The topic itself was diluted. Yeah.
So does that mean you'll be back on another occasion to have a discussion with other contributors, other debaters down here at Speaker's Corner?
Yes, of course, 100%. I'm actually here quite a bit. The cameras don't, I don't fear them or anything. I don't, the comments or anything like that. I think it's important for people to see other people's point of views, and that's why I do this.
Yeah. Thank you very much, sir. And excuse me, young lady, can I ask you a few questions? Come forward. Come forward. You're scared.
All of these things have occurred in India, and the BBC had nothing to say about it. Nothing. But the moment a headscarf gets banned in a Hindu school, what happens? The BBC are all over it like a rash. Now, what is that telling you about the liberal progressives? About their hypocrisy? About their double standards? And about their willful silence of the persecution of Christians in India by Hindus, as well as their persecution of Christians in Pakistan. Do you remember the moral outrage of the liberal progressives when a Christian couple had their legs broken and were burned alive in Pakistan by a Muslim mob? No, you don't, do you? And the reason why you don't is that these progressive hypocrites don't think that the lives of Christians are worthy of the same coverage as the lives of Muslims in that area of the world. I want to point out to you that the ban on headscarves also affects Hindu girls. The wearing of a headscarf is a common practice of Hindu girls as well. Muslim girls are not being targeted in India. And you can see that because the response of the Hindutva movement was to hand out orange scarves to Hindu girls so that they could wear them. So the BBC is portraying this like, oh, poor persecuted Muslims, whilst ignoring the fact that the same ban affects Hindu girls and ignoring completely the persecution of Christians in India. You don't need to take moral lessons from these hypocrites. Nothing. Do not take moral lessons from progressive hypocrites who are selective about the causes that they want to talk about. They talk about the persecution of Uyghur Muslims in China. What about the persecutions of Christians in China? And let's be clear, ladies and gentlemen, if the Islamists that come to this park on a regular basis were ever to gain power in this country, I guarantee they will prescribe the activities of Christians, Hindus and Sikhs in this country.
No way.
Don't believe me. I'm a liar, I hear the Muslims say. I hear the comments in the comment section. Go and look at what the British government says about Saudi Arabia. Let me pull it up for you. Let me pull it up for you. I'll go and kill my phone now and get it covered in water. Bear with me 1 second.
So this is the British government talking about Saudi Arabia.
All right. What did we say, Bob?
Okay, this is on the page of the British government's official website, talking about the local laws and customs of Saudi Arabia. And why am I using Saudi Arabia as my example?
Why?
Because Saudi Arabia has been dominated by Islam for 1400 years. It is the purest example of what Islam looks like in practice. Listen.
No, but Saudi has
Listen.
over the years.
Listen. Listen.
It's the same.
This is from the government, Her Majesty's government, talking about Saudi Arabia. The public practice of any form of religion other than Islam is illegal. So the Muslims complain that France is discriminating against Muslims because they can't wear a face covering. They complain that Hindus are persecuting Muslims because they can't wear a headscarf, but they defend Saudi Arabia making any practice of any religion in public illegal. Do you see, ladies and gentlemen? They will do far worse to you than they suffer. They defend practices far worse in Saudi Arabia than they would have you condemn in India or France. Christians, you need to pay attention. He actually said, give me an example immediately after I read the example. How hilarious. So, ladies and gentlemen, do not be swept up by the deceitful narrative of Islamophobia. Do not allow that deceitful narrative of Islamophobia to blind you to the many and consistent examples of prejudice and Christophobia that exists in the Muslim world. Anti-Christian pogroms in Pakistan, anti-Christian pogroms in Egypt, the tearing down and destruction of entire churches, the annihilation of tens of thousands of Christians in Nigeria, the bombings of churches in Pakistan, the protests and outrage by Indonesian Muslims because a Christian was elected as the governor of Indonesia, the kidnapping of a Christian pastor in Malaysia by the authorities that is caught on film, making it illegal for Christians to proselytize to Malay Muslims, making it illegal to build new churches in Indonesia. The murder of Christians in Turkey, the attempted genocide of Christians in Syria and Iraq, the complete illegality to practice Christianity in public in Saudi Arabia. How many examples of Christophobia do you need to see before you wake up when I finished? Do you need to see before you counter the progressive narrative of Islamophobia by talking about the reality of Christophobia in the Islamic world? What about in the UK? What about the attempted murder of Nisa Hussain, caught on film? What about the suspected Islamist terrorist who tried to murder a Christian in this very park that the government has covered up because the police won't make it public that they are doing an anti-terrorist investigation, and the media hushed it over and hid it in plain sight? What about the suspected Muslim in East London who tried to tear down a cross? And let me give you 2 examples anecdotally from my own experience. I went to Morocco on holiday. I was walking through the streets of Morocco wearing my wooden cross, and a Muslim came up to me pointing at my cross and going, "No, no, no," and he was telling me to take my cross off. And a Muslim called me over and he said the Muslim was angry with me because I was wearing my cross near to the mosque. Here's another anecdotal evidence. A brother of mine, an uncle in the faith, was cutting the grass of his church in a Muslim area. An elderly Muslim man walked past him, called him over, pointed to the cross on the church and said that the cross was offensive to Muslims and should be taken down. And why did he think it was right to offend Muslims? That's what the Muslim man asked the Christian man in this country. Now I accept that anecdotal evidences are not proof. I accept that. But I experienced what I experienced. That is my experience. And this uncle did tell me what he told me. So when are we going to start challenging the Christophobia amongst Muslims? Stand up for yourselves, Christians. Find your balls and start speaking up for your brothers and sisters around the world. Deus vult!
Deus vult!
Deus vult!
Deus vult!
Deus vult!
Deus vult!
Okay. Any questions on that topic?
Questions? Question.
You asked it. Did you want to ask?
Don't you believe, sir, Mr. Speaker, that all this you've said, I'm not just rubbishing it, but governments are using religion to keep nations of people away from each other by saying ISIS, Taliban. Have you seen any ISIS? Have you seen any Taliban? Have you seen? You go by faith of what they tell you in the paper or in the media.
May I reply?
Yes, go
okay. So the uncle asks, does he not believe that it's an act of the government simply to separate peoples from people?
Yes, like the white man
Ladies and gentlemen, don't give him,
JC,
You got the mic.
Okay. So ladies and gentlemen, Islam was persecuting Christians and Jews and pagans from the time of Muhammad.
That's right.
Dimitude is a practice of Muslim Sharia law. There's no Muslim that would deny that dimitude is part of Islamic teaching. The Quran says that Christians should pay the jizya tax and feel themselves subdued. Some translators put it as humiliated. That and this Muslim behind the camera said, and why not?
Why not?
This Muslim, I'm not okay. Sorry, this Muslim says, and why not? Let me finish. So this is the reality of what Islam teaches, and it is legitimate and a moral requirement of every Christian to stand up against this injustice. Brother, you wanted to ask a question. He's asked his question. What question do you want to ask?
JC, don't stand up against the church.
What's your question?
It's okay. You're Hindu. You worship the cow before you worship Jesus. Be quiet.
In Quran. Yeah.
The hate speech in the Quran.
Yeah. Because I'm gay, they are all homophobic in the Quran. Homophobia, you know.
It's in every religion, homophobia.
I know. I don't have any religion, you know. I don't believe any religion. I'm from Saudi Arabia. I come to here.
Let me deal with his question. He was polite to let you. Right. So, brother,
I'm sorry because
brother, if you're going to have your conversation with him, I'm going to start talking to the crowd.
No, go on.
I heard your question. So, yes, There is hate speech in Islamic sources. The Quran describes Christians and Jews as the worst of creatures. In the Hadiths, it says that those who make images like Christians on the Day of Judgment will be the most hated by Allah. I will send the reference. It says in the Hadiths that the companions of the Prophet never left an image or a cross in the house of Muhammad except that he obliterated it. The Quran commands Muslims to wage war against non-believers until they become Muslim or until they pay the jizya and find themselves subdued. If I wrote a pamphlet and put it through letterboxes saying that we should do to Muslims what their holy books say that they should do to us, I would be arrested, prosecuted and thrown into prison for hate speech, but yet the Muslims will defend doing it to Christians. First thing they do is they say that you're lying. Then when you show them the evidence, they try to defend it. Next question, go on. Wait, let him ask a question. Ask a question. Ask the question.
Speak of the Vaticans that rape the children. Speak about that.
Okay,
Speak about France.
so the brother asked a question that is completely off topic. Next question, you wanted to ask a question.
Why are you denying it? Told them about the rape of the church.
I talked about hate speech.
Yeah.
I did talk about. Did I answer your question, sir?
Yeah.
Thank you. So I did answer his question.
Mr. Speaker, you
Right,
went to
next
Morocco.
question.
You went to Morocco, yeah? You said you went there.
Yes.
Now, Islam, Muslim country, we agree, yeah? Now, how comes the Jews, yeah, were the only group of people that they respect are the Moroccans? I can go to Morocco, to Israel with a Moroccan passport and they won't stamp it just in case I want to go and do Hajj, yeah? Right? If I go with my British passport, they won't let me in because I've got a couple of convictions and they'll whack you back and say you're a drafty, right? Yeah? You know what I mean? So, Islam, right, what you're saying is a lot of things that are there and they're not there because the Kafar, they were persecuted. The Jews were persecuted by the Catholics. The Kafar, you know, the group of Christians, Kafar they used to call him, yeah?
Kafir, by the way, has the spiritual equivalent of calling a black man the N-word. This is an insulting term that Muslims throw upon Christians. It's hate speech. It's an abusive term. Do not tolerate Muslims calling you kuffar. It's an abusive linguistic term.
There was a group of people named that in the history, yes or no?
And who were? Those are Christians and Jews.
Right.
Right, no, I'm doing questions, sir.
Okay.
I'm not having a...
All right, but the point is, what I'm trying to say to you is...
What's the question?
The question is, there is no religion in this world, including the Jews. They said in their statement, we're God's chosen people, so what's the rest of us?
What's the question?
The question is, you're just targeting one particular religion about all the badness.
What's the question?
The question is, you're wrong.
Right, so he hasn't got a question. But allow me to reply to his comment. Allow me to reply to his comment. The difference is that if I ask the Muslim to show me from the New Testament where persecution of Muslims or Jews is called for, they will not be able to find me a single verse. But I can find in the Quran and the Hadiths clear instructions to persecute Christians and Jews, and that is the difference that we face. The liberal media has lied because the liberal media wants to sustain a narrative of three Abrahamic faiths that are all the same. This is a lie. Christianity, Islam and Judaism teach different things. They are different religions. They have different values. They have different beliefs. If Islam dominates a society, it looks like Saudi Arabia. If Christianity dominates a society, it looks like Europe, or Ethiopia, or Armenia, or Russia.
I was Muslim, but now I'm not.
Oh, don't show it. Why do you let this stuff?
Because I'm gay. It's fucking religion. Yeah.
Ah, okay, because you're gay, you let
Yeah.
Let us be clear. This man that you saw on camera, Islam instructs that he should be killed.
Yeah.
Simple. Simple.
If there's 4 witnesses to him doing penetrative sex, is
4 witnesses. 4 witnesses. Now prove it. Prove it. Because 4 witnesses is to rape extramarital sex. That's what 4 witnesses is about. Extramarital sex is it's prescribed for sexual relations, men and women, outside of marriage. The first thing that Muslims do is always deny. The second thing that they do is try to defend. We see this in the park. We have countless examples on camera of Muslims defending slavery, sex with children, persecution of religious minorities, waging war against unbelievers, raping women who are captured in war. We've got countless examples on Soko Film, Sam. You should watch it more often.
Can you provide the evidence where like Mentor Hashim
So, there you go. Liar! Liar!
Where are the proofs? Where are your arguments? Just saying.
In Sharia law, quick question. In Sharia law, should Christians be made dhimmis? No. Are you saying that all of those Muslims who say that Christians should be dhimmis is wrong?
What mean dhimmi?
No, they mean you, boss. They mean people like you.
There you go.
What mean dhimmi?
They mean people like
There you go.
Hypocrites like
Here's a
you.
Muslim saying that I should be made a dhimmi. He's saying it.
He saw this. He saw this. He saw this.
Is he wrong?
What does dhimmi
Is he
mean?
wrong?
What does
No.
dhimmi mean?
Answer the question.
What does dhimmi mean?
No.
I
Answer the
don't
question.
mean.
Okay, we're not having a conversation.
What does dhimmi mean?
What do you mean, you coward? What do you mean?
Why did one of the Jews say the Muslims saved the Jews in Spain when the Muslims were thinking that when the Catholics took over Spain? One of the intellectual Jews said the Muslims saved the Jews. So if the go on.
What's the question? Repeat the question.
So the question was, if Muslims are supposed to kill the Jews, why did the Muslims save the Jews in Spain? The brother wasn't listening to what I said. I did not say that Muslims are commanded to kill the Jews. I said that the Quran instructs Muslims to wage war against unbelievers until they become Muslim or until they pay the jizya. You need to listen to what I said. But since he brought up Spain as an example, let us use Spain as an example. When the Muslims conquered Spain, they reduced Christians and Jews to second-class citizens. They desecrated churches. They prohibited Christian practices. They allowed Muslims to have a higher status in law than Christians and Jews. For example, Muslims could own Christian and Jewish slaves, but Christians couldn't own Muslim slaves. Muslims could marry Christian women, but Christian men couldn't marry Muslim women. And he says that it's true. And he says that it's true. So he says that it's true. So my thesis is correct. Islam is an apartheid system in which Christians and Jews will be made second-class citizens.
You've got to be fair. I only said the marriage bit.
Have you read any Quran?
I meant the marriage bit. Hang on. I didn't say the bit before. I meant only the marriage.
Have you read the Quran? Have you read the Quran?
What are the Jews doing to the Muslims in Palestine today?
And this is what the Muslims do. Whenever you call them out on what their ideology, I'm answering your question. You asked a question.
I know, I said which bit. The bit that was true was about the marriage, not the bit before.
What is your thesis? ChristianityToday.com.
To the Muslims today. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is what you've got to be aware of. The moment you put your finger on the injustices of Islam, the first thing that the Muslims do is try and change the subject.
To the truth.
They always try to change the subject, and they often want to talk about what someone is doing to the Muslims. If my boat is sinking and your boat is sinking, does me pointing out your boat is sinking stop my boat from sinking? No! So simply pointing out that Muslims are the subject of injustice does not excuse the injustices of Islam. And if Islam is guilty of injustices, every good person should fight against it, and every good Muslim should leave it.
Islam is the religion of justice.
Islam is the religion of justice, he says. Let me ask you a question. 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 If the British government passed a law that said in Britain that your life, in terms of compensation paid by the court, would only ever be half my life because you're a Muslim and I'm a Christian, would you say that that was an example of Islamophobia?
I would say, it's the British,
Without saying it officially, I've done it across the world. The reason, no, because they don't say it officially, but look at Iraq, Palestine, Afghanistan. No, beating around the bush.
Crusaders killing Christians.
Crusaders. Look at Palestine now. Look at Palestine now.
Notice how he's changing the topic, so I'm not going to talk to him. He's not answering the question. I'm going to do a wrap-up. I'm going to do a wrap-up. Because he had the opportunity to have a conversation, he ran from the conversation. The example that I gave is an example from Sharia law itself. Sharia law states that legally, in terms of compensation, the life and value of a Christian or a Jew is half that of a Muslim. If any government did that to Muslims today, they would call it Islamophobia. But they will defend doing it to Christians and Jews. At least the bad ones will. The good ones will condemn it. And to those good Muslims, I say that if you're condemning the practices of your own religion, leave it! Leave it! And turn to Christianity. Because the Christian faith, when it is followed, establishes the equality of all human beings in the law. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to stop because I'm freezing cold. Freezing cold. Okay. Shall we go and get a cup of tea? It's fucking wet and freezing cold. No, bro. Come on. No, be honest with me. No. Listen, bro. Be an honest man. I want you to answer my question. I don't want you to divert. I don't want you to
Go get a cup of tea. You need
Go get me.
He's brewing. He's brewing.
Good afternoon all, my name is Wendell Daniel and welcome to StreetMic, and we are coming to you, as you can hear, live and direct from down here at Speakers Corner for the regular Sunday debate, and it is pissing down with rain here at Speakers Corner today, and as a direct result I'm going to be packing up very soon, but it has been an interesting debate taking place down here today with the regular contributors. And don't forget, if you like what you're seeing, give me the thumbs up, make your comments down below, share and follow. So if you like what you're seeing, give me the thumbs up, make your comments down below, share and follow. But what you must also do, please remember to switch on your notification bell so that every time StreetMic goes live, we will be informed. So switch on your notification bell so that every time we go live, you will be informed. And let me wipe, because it's wet, man, wet. So we are currently live streaming on Facebook at StreetMic Podcast. We are also live streaming on YouTube on StreetMic LiveStream. You can also find us on Vimeo. And what is really great is that every week I make an attempt to come down here, and it is so amazing to be able to engage with all of these brilliant speakers and contributors down here. But it's freezing cold, it's wet, and next door to me we've got Bob, and he's now having a debate as normal.
For the rest of us as Christians, we've got to make a choice. Are we going to continually give ground to this thuggish interpretation of Islam? Or are we going to stand up for ourselves and stand up for our brothers and sisters and stand up against the teachings of Islam that lead to the discriminatory practices of Muslims against the church? Christian love demands that you stand up for your brothers and sisters, and you stand up for the church against injustice and the sources of that injustice. The source of that injustice is Islam. Not just Islam, but is Islam. And you should stand up to it wherever that injustice exists. There's vote!
Just before you go, my name is Wendell Daniel.
JC, start packing up.
Yeah, a couple of seconds. My name is Wendell Daniel from StreetMic. Can I say, I've seen you down here on most Sundays, and can you explain to my viewers why it's important for someone like yourself to come down here and engage with others?
Okay. So the reason, ladies and gentlemen, why I feel it is important is because that we Christians have a concept of vocation. This is that God places on each life a destiny that he wants you to walk in. Some to greatness, many to just normality. And I feel that God has given me a vocation to use this environment and this space to reach out to people for the truths of the Christian faith, and particularly Muslims whom I love. And it's important you understand that. The reason why I go after Islam is because I love Muslims, and I want Muslims to be with me in heaven. I don't want them to be in hell. I don't want them to face God's judgment. And so I come after the Muslims because I want them to find the truth. And I criticize Islam partly because Muslims are always criticizing Christianity in the park, and partly because Muslims need to have their intellect and their conscience pricked so that they can question all the mantra and the lies that the da'i have been telling them, the Muslim scholars, the ulama, have been telling them about Islam and about Christianity.
How would you describe the standard of debate that is currently taking place down here at Speakers Corner?
It depends who's involved in the debate. Basically,
in general.
Basically, if it doesn't involve Muslims, the standard of debate in this corner is quite high. But unfortunately, because of the kind of mob mentality that dominates amongst the Muslims at the corner, the moment you start challenging Muslims, you always end up with this heckling kind of behaviour that you've just literally witnessed on camera right now.
And
it lowers the standard of debate.
And in your opinion, sorry, say that again. In your opinion, is that heckling influenced by social media? Because people nowadays have channel and they're interested in engaging their followers by getting more shares, more likes, more comments, etc. Why is so much heckling going on down there?
Well, I think heckling was going on before the cameras. So before the cameras came to Speaker's Corner, there was heckling at Speaker's Corner. But I do think that the cameras have had a positive and a negative effect in Speaker's Corner. Positive in the sense that it's exposed Speaker's Corner to a wider audience. There are millions of people who watch the debates on different channels. And a plug is that you watch Soko Films and Bob the Builder of Speaker's Corner. Two great channels. Bob of Speaker's Corner and Soko Films.
But final question to Bob.
Ask me as many questions as you like.
Forget Bob at Speaker's Corner. Who is Bob away from Speaker's Corner?
Bob away from Speaker's Corner is a disciple of Christ who is trying to follow Christ, fails often, and is dependent upon God's grace.
Amen. Thank you very much, sir, and I look forward to engaging with you again in the coming weeks. And I know it is wet, it's cold, and I did hear you say you want a coffee, and I want one myself, but thank you very much. And I'm going to be locking down very soon myself.
Hotel. Yes, we are. No, we're going to Marriott Hotel, and you can join us.
I know where you all go. Thanks a lot, my man.
What's the name of your channel?
My name is Wendell Daniel from StreetMic. StreetMic, big up.
StreetMic, the second best channel in Speaker's Corner.
I agree, and you know something? I love to engage with people, and that is what I'm trying to do. But thank you very much.
Leon, we love you and we miss you, bro.
Let me interview one person. I know who I want to interview. Yeah. Thanks a lot, man. Yeah. But you know something? StreetMic doesn't follow people. StreetMic is not into engagement. I just come down here, do what I need to do, and go home. I don't create this just for followers. So those of you who are watching, I'm now going to be signing off because I have to do other things. But if you like what you're seeing, don't forget, you can find me on social media, but this is not the main stuff I do. I'm a private live streamer, and you can find all of my private stuff, not on social media. You can find it on Vimeo. So if you would like me to live stream your events, give me a contact me, find me on social media, and I'll let you know I'm not cheap. So if you want me, I do funerals, I do parties, I do weddings, and I'm a live streamer. That is what I do. I come down here and it allows me to practice a number of skills that I put into practice when I do private events. But I'm now going to be closing down because it's pissing down the rain. I'm getting wet, I'm cold, and it's not good for electronic equipment to be getting wet. So thank you very much for watching, and goodbye. And we will be back down here next week, next Sunday, for the regular mayhem at Speaker's Corner. Thank you for watching and goodbye.
Well,